Educating, informing, serving. Fact TV, keeping government honest.
Being 6:30, we'll start the Wednesday, November 9th, 2022 meeting of the Westminster Select Board. Any adjustments to the agenda at this time?
Yes, Mr. Chair. At this time, I will make a motion that we enter executive session under new business, section E, to discuss a personal matter and contractual matter, have our discussion, and then exit and share the information if there is any with the public.
When would you like to do that or move that to?
Moving it under as stated, new business, executive session,
Okay,
section E.
all right.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? What's the matter, Craig?
I'm trying to find section 8. What do you say, section 8?
New business, section 6E.
Oh, 60, okay, sorry. Yeah. It's at 8. I'm trying to find it. That's fine.
E. Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Thank you, Nathan. The ayes have it. Any other adjustments to the agenda at this time? All right, moving on. Acceptance of minutes, October 26, 2022.
Motion to accept minutes as stated, as submitted, October 26, 2022.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the minutes of October 26, 2022. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, communications and public comments. Do you want to talk now, Richard, to that? Or, I don't know what you want to talk about, so.
Yeah, my name is Richard Crocker. I'm on the Planning Commission, and next Tuesday we're having a housing thing. I think it's been announced here before, but
Yep.
we want to make sure that it
Okay.
stays in front of people, and I'll pass the flyer around.
All right.
Thank you. Hopefully you come.
Great. Any other communications and public comments this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, Ruggiero trash and recycling update. I think Joe, we were looking to just see where we were at as far as recycling, and are we having, all right, what was I looking for? I'm drawing a blank.
Well, everything seems to be moving along. Not too many complaints or anything coming in. I think everybody's on board with it.
Okay.
Not looking forward to the weather coming, but hopefully Chuck will keep the road clear for us. We'll be all set.
Okay. How are we, I'll put you on the spot, but tonnage wise, are we over, under, like more recycling, less recycling?
I would say you're a little heavier on the recycling only because of the program, the way it's set up. The 1 bag's allowed and people are trying to squeeze in as much as they could to get that recycling, which is doing its job.
Yeah, okay,
Wanted to get done and it's happening.
okay.
Quite a bit of trash still, because of the influx of Amazons and things like that. I thought that might have slowed down a little after the coronavirus, but it really didn't. Finding that we're still picking up quite a few boxes and things like that.
Yeah.
People with home delivery and staying home.
The recycling, though, seems to be like people are recycling appropriate things and.
Yeah. If they aren't, we have a little form, we can leave it right in there for them.
Okay.
Let them know that the shopping bags aren't recyclable, even though they are recyclable, but not through our program.
Yeah.
How's the waste coming, the food waste? How's that going?
It's going okay. We had a couple more people this week that actually signed on. Usually it's more of the new residents. Everybody that's here now pretty much got the program in. I think I pick up about 40 or 50 town people in the town, but a lot of them are doing it on their own composting in the backyard type of thing.
How does it work for you to pick up the food waste? Do you supply a container?
Yeah, we have a 5-gallon container,
Mhm.
and it has a compostable bag inside it. And they're finding that, if you just put nothing but the compost in it, the 5-gallon bucket's enough for like a family of 4.
Wow.
Your lettuce and that type of thing, leftover apple cores.
How often do you pick them up?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Yep.
So that's like a separate run because you're only going through.
Correct,
those.
yeah. It's not part of something that I provide on the, I want to say, to be on the spot a little bit there, I think it's a cost of like $40 a month. And we come by,
So basically $10 a week.
yeah, basically $10 a week, come by and pick it up. Yep, we're bringing it down to Brattleboro right now. Bob Spencer's place there, WSWMD is taking it.
That's a separate run though from
That's a
like the
separate
trash.
run. Correct, yeah. And we're pulling out, I'd say roughly 1,000, 1,500 pounds of compostable stuff from the town. So that's coming out of your trash flow.
One question we had, this was a couple weeks ago, but where does Westminster's or Vermont's trash go?
It depends who gives the better of the prices. Right now, we have been bringing it up to Seneca, New York, actually,
Oh,
Ontario. And then we bring in some stuff to Rensselaer, but that's more of a construction type.
so
Landfill.
it could vary week to
It could
week.
vary depending on who needs the tonnage and who doesn't.
Gotcha.
Truckers availability.
Are you trucking that yourself or are you?
No, we have independents that are doing it. Right now, we're struggling a little bit because of what's going on down there in Florida. They're sucking up all the
Right.
extra trucks and construction people and everything else, all heading down there for that FEMA stuff, but should get back to normal probably.
So you don't use the Casella? The only one we have in Vermont is up north, right?
Right, yeah, we're not bringing it to that common trade though.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Find it's a better rate going somewhere else.
Gotcha. Anybody else have any other questions?
No other words of wisdom today on it as far as trash is concerned.
But the recycling, I mean, that's what you went up on cost the last few years
Yeah.
because of plastic and cardboard. Do you see that? I mean,
It
I can't
did the
predict.
exact same thing again to me this year.
Right.
It went up so high, it's above what I'm charging the town again. I didn't think it could get any higher, but, China not being open still, they're still on their lockdown, so there's very little recycling going to them. And they were the biggest consumers of our recycling, was China.
Well, Ally had pointed out this article, I don't know if you've seen this article, but
No.
Wyndham Solid Waste Management reinstates separation of glass from single stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know if that had any bearing or effect on your recycling.
Yeah, no, we're still doing the single stream, so that's all combined for convenience. And-
Yeah.
But that's good to see they're separating down there still. They're really trying to keep that place stimulated down there.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that we should put out to our residents as far as updating what to do. Basically, it's going along good and just leave it alone.
Yeah.
You don't feel we need reminders of any kind or anything?
No. Once in a while, someone will call up because everybody's on board with the program. Good. Doing a good job.
Thank you, Joe.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Feel free to stay if you want some excitement.
Yeah. I got some stuff to do at home.
So we'll
Thank you.
move on
Thank
to radar speed trailer discussion. We have all kinds of information in our packet from various manufacturers and whatnot. Were you speaking to that or?
You got the info.
I just,
That's all we did.
I just,
okay.
All we
yeah,
did was get the info.
Okay. So are you speaking to that then?
I don't know if I have to speak to it or if it was just for our information.
I was asked to get some information, so,
Correct.
Okay.
This is just for our info to have.
Okay.
but I can tell you what I found is you need
Sure. Why
somebody
not?
to,
Give us the skinny.
the traffic safety warehouse brochure, that one, that seems to be the most bang for your buck. The other ones, if you want to use it for any kind of traffic study, this one we could set up, it would count cars and tell you the majority of cars that were speeding at this certain time, time of the day.
That's
all
the
that.
data collector.
A data collector on it, that's right, exactly. The other ones, that's all
Right.
extra. So that's all included for $8,105, where the other ones are all over 10,000.
And we would own this particular unit?
Yeah.
Does that come with the sign that's above it?
Yes. Yep.
I thought it said somewhere, the speed traffic sign not included.
Batteries not included?
No, if you,
Speed right there, speed limit sign not included, which is, we probably have to sign.
No, I'm just curious, in that case you wanted to have different speeds.
Well, yeah,
Right, you could set it one place for 35, then move it over to one that says 50.
second page, like 2 lines down, 3 lines down from the top.
I'm gonna say, if it only had 35, then that's the only place you could put it, where if you
data
had 25.
common. Oh, speed limit sign, not good, I didn't see that before.
Which is fine.
Fine.
Great.
This is excellent information, although, Mr. Chair, I think we should take this under consideration. Do the dollar cost average as to what it's costing us for the police services that we've been debating now for 3 years as to whether or not we're getting,
Anything?
right, whether or not we're getting our full dollars worth on behalf of our taxpayers.
You should at least provide us with some data too.
Yeah,
The sheriff
Actually,
is
like
not
that.
providing.
Because on this example of School Street, we could actually come back and see.
Average speed.
Yeah, what is the average speed on School Street for schools? Yeah, no, I like that idea.
If somebody said that they had 200 motorcycles going by their house on a certain road, and you wanted to check that, you could. That would tell you how many vehicles actually did really go by that certain location.
So this is all just for our information at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys talked about spending ARPA money on it, and you wanted information last meeting, so that's what I found.
Past Chuck with that. Okay.
Great.
would it make sense to have more than one of these, given the size of our town?
I wouldn't think so. You wouldn't want people to get used to them. If they're in the same spot all the time, I think current hand signs don't work anymore. People don't pay attention to them, they've been there too long. I'll find myself,
I'm guilty.
yeah, no, right?
Same.
They do catch your attention, but it doesn't necessarily slow me down.
You find yourself going, you go by at 35 miles an hour, well, whatever, there's never a cop there anyway, so
Yeah, true.
you keep going.
No,
That's why the-
it's on the other side.
Static deterrent over in Walpole that has the police light that goes on when you're too far over. That
Right.
certainly wakes them up, unless, of course, they're on their cell phone.
Right, and if you moved it around, it would, I feel like, if you catches you off guard, it's in the same spot every time the blue light comes on.
You see those lights go on, and it's instinctive, this little.
Right,
Why couldn't we use it for construction too? If you're doing
That's true,
construction
too.
on the back Westminster.
oh, you
Road,
could, yeah, to help slow.
Before you're
people down.
going out, you'd actually lower the speed and just put it up, instead of normally being 50 there, you put 35 or whatever.
Right, yeah, you could do that.
We have a similar one on Route 9.
That's what I liked about it.
One of these had a blue light thing, but it must not have.
The only problem that I saw with the one that's the least expensive is there's no in-state dealer. The other ones have, up in Burlington, of course, they're really handy, but. A lot of that stuff you don't, or locally, you know.
Great.
Thank you.
That's what you got.
Anything else under radar speed trailer discussion? Thank you for getting all that information.
No problem.
Move on to new business. Sevens.
Great, good evening. My name is Adam Grinald. I'm the Executive Director of the Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. This is Jennifer Stromston, who is our Director of Programs. Sevens is our affiliate entity. We've met with you many times before, so thank you for having us here this evening. You should have in your packet materials a letter that we sent, annual funding request So we're here tonight to make that request, request to be placed on as an article at this coming town meeting. Give you an update on some of the work we've been doing. And then new this year is what's called the EDD. So we'll talk a bit about that as well. Maybe do you want to start with an update?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into a lot of program detail on it because I want to focus on a couple of really specific things. I think you should have received a copy of this, which is just a one-pager select board visit overview. That was with the letter. Yes, ma'am. So that gives you sort of highlights from our various programs, business support and all kinds of things. But I'm going to point out a couple of things and I'll hand these out because I don't know if you have these. We're not the only town that's worrying about trying to fill your own housing needs and meet the needs of people who are getting older and the folks who work here, the teachers in your schools and town workers. And so we're putting on a local housing needs conference December 1st. And this is really meant to complement what you're doing at the local level. We're having some folks from VHFA, which is the Vermont Housing Finance Agency, come and talk. And it's also just a chance for towns to just like hear from each other, because there's a lot of towns kind of coming at this from different directions with but really a lot of the same challenges. And that's one of the things that I love about this is the Southern Vermont Economy Project. I think you've talked with Meg probably, who's our staffer for that, or someone on your committee has. Yeah. One of the things I love about this program is we bring towns together to learn from each other. Right? And we also try to bring state programs down into this region. There's a lot of great stuff going on. There'll be for instance, some new energy money coming that's going to be up to $500,000 grants for town buildings to do deep energy retrofit and things like that. And, we had them come to the summit this summer to talk about what was coming, but we'll be making sure that that program is well understood by the towns here and well used here. I would say kind of in simplest terms, the goal of this program and in many ways our organization is to make sure that we all get our fair share at least of state programs and other programs. And so I'll give you cards on this. Again, this is meant to complement what we know is already going on at the town level. This is the housing conference. And then the other thing that I brought detail on is this is a kind of detailed rundown on our high school program. This is the program that we launched 4.5 years ago, when the state was sort of leaning into PLP, personalized learning and pathways, and which was meant to really encompass kids going in any direction as they exit high school, whether that would be high school directly into career training, on-the-job training, military, anything. And we developed a program that I really love this program. We work with the guidance counselors. So there's a great team at Bellows Falls High School. And what I brought for you tonight, because I think there's been some confusion about what we do there, is a pretty detailed just bullet list of the things that we've done with the Bellows Falls Union High School, and then sort of some of the upcoming things and some pictures that are just from cute things that we've done with the kids. So I'm just gonna hand this out. The most recent thing that was just really fun. We did a big, there's a pair of things for each of you, and then thank you. We did a reality fair, and we put on a big reality fair at Leland and Gray, and a bunch of different schools came in. But also we were asked by Bellows Falls to do sort of a mini version right at the school. So we actually got to do that with them first. And the concept of reality fair is just this sort of focused piece that we did with them, which is the financial literacy piece. Is we take real jobs from the region and we kind of give kids a worksheet that has a real salary of an entry-level job, a variety of sectors. They get to choose kind of an area. So it might be a phlebotomist, they might be a forester. And then we show them what comes out of their salary, out of their monthly salary, FICA, Social Security, things like that. And then they kind of have to go around and interact with adults and make choices about how they're going to spend, right? How am I going to spend on housing? Am I going to live with my parents? I'm going to rent an apartment. I'm going to try and buy a house. They do all these kind of pieces that all of us have to do as grown-ups, figure out what their transportation choice is going to be. Are they going to buy a new car? Are they going to buy a used car? They're going to try and bike. And by the end of that, they really have to figure out how to balance their budget. And it's just been super fun with the kids because it really gives them a chance to sort of put into play some of these abstract things that everyone's always trying to sort of, teach them about, whether it's about being responsible financially or about, thinking about their career choices and how they're going to be able to live, are they going to be able to afford that car they think they want based on the choices that they're making. And it also connects them to actual job pathways that are in this region, which is really important to us. This isn't sort of made up stuff. So that's been really fun. That's been the last 6 weeks we've done that in Bellows Falls and then with basically all the schools in the region. So just wanted to drill into a couple specifics. I think it's a little more interesting than us skimming over the surface. The handout gives you that. Our new annual report is online as of 2 weeks ago, and I'll have hard copies that I'll share with you as well. And that gives a little bit more of a kind of touching on each of our programs. Happy to
That reality fair had 80 volunteers, 20 different businesses. So this was a cross sector for the whole region. It was, every single one of those volunteers really just commented on what the impact that they saw on the students, and the students leaving with, not making it out of the room with any money left, or, leaving with money left and being really, jazzed about that. Because how many people sit down at the table and say, all right, children, here's our paycheck and here's all of our expenses. That's not a typical part of the household conversation. And now these kids have that insight into what it's going to take. And it was really impactful. It was great.
They were great. I mean, the kids were amazing. One of the things that we, hear from the grown-ups who come to volunteer, and these are bank vice presidents and, retired principals and, retired town managers. We get all these great people, volunteers. They're always kind of impressed at how great the kids are. And, we do some work with the guidance teams to prepare the kids, but it's kids are smart, and it's really nice to kind of see that interaction and see the kids really sort of, take a lot away from it and take it seriously. So I don't know, it's inspiring. I was impressed by everybody who volunteered, but then when also you see the kids going around, it's sort of okay, they're pretty awesome, and they took it really seriously. So we're excited to do it again.
Yeah, the other thing we want to just talk about tonight, real briefly, is the Economic Development District. So this is part of the EDA process that we participate in. So we have the CEDS, Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. So that document allows us to apply for what's known as an EDD, an Economic Development District. That's going to be Windham and Bennington County. So we're meeting with every municipality in those 2 counties to talk about this, to request a letter of support. It doesn't cost the municipality anything to sign on to this. And what it does is allows access. If we become an EDD, we get the region, the 2 counties, gets annual funding for supporting the creation of the CEDS, the upkeep of the CEDS, which again is a regional strategy that all the communities, businesses, and individuals can participate in the creation of that and its implementation. Helps us prioritize where we're going to focus. Retaining our youth, increasing the median wages, lowering the median age, things that we've established as priorities in the region to have a thriving community. So with that EDD, we have to submit a letter of support from municipalities. You should have that in your packet as well, where you have a sample letter we can send you as well. And we're looking for support with that.
All right. Anybody have any questions for these folks? I think as far as your first question about getting on the town meeting, you have to have the signatures, right? That's how that.
5%.
Yeah.
That's a policy for this town?
Just so you know, 2020, our population was 2,998. So we've gone down in population since 2010.
Okay.
And if that's what you're going to base it off, it should be based off that.
Good, yeah. Yep. We used 2010 across the region for consistency, but again, we make an ask of the municipality, and what you do with that is really up to you. We found, it was great with COVID, they weren't requiring that. And, if you can waive that, if it's a uniform policy or if it's just specific to any one entity, we'd ask that you waive it this year. Because it's a lot of work to go out and get those signatures, and it doesn't really add to the conversation.
I can't give you an answer on that, I do know that
It's a requirement.
During COVID, it was waived,
Yeah.
but I believe it is a requirement now.
Okay.
We were given permission by the state to do it, but not this last year.
Patty and Colleen, I know that to be on the ballot, I'm pretty sure you had to, well, except for if you're gonna be a justice of the peace, I'm pretty sure you had to have signatures this year.
Just, yeah.
Well, that was a ballot, that's different, but
Every year during COVID, they sent us a thing from the state that we could waive it, but we didn't get one. I don't think we got one last year. We didn't get one this year, that's for sure.
Okay. All right, anybody have anything? Nathan, you have anything? Good?
Good.
All right. Thank you for coming in,
Yeah, good to see you, thank you.
and,
Yeah, it was
It's great. It looks nice.
all right, thank you. We'll move on to, new business B, truck purchase and trade. We have a purchase and sales for the newest truck that is in and ready. I just signed the title to the trade.
More important, like I said, I recluse myself, but this trade with, in order to make the numbers work this year, I had to sell the truck ahead of time, so that's the only thing I'm waiting for. I don't care about getting paid for the new truck as much as the title to the used one, so I can sell it.
Well, you got the title here.
Yep.
This is the truck, this is the truck that we finance?
No,
That was the previous?
yeah. We put 175,000 in our budget last year when we went to the voters for a truck. It's the first time we didn't have an article, and we just put it as a line item. And we put 175,000 as a line item for equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do have enough.
We do?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
The year before, we had enough, except we went and bought an excavator, which took out most of the money, or a good part of it, so then left it
Backhoe.
for the backhoe.
Yeah.
So we did borrow the money,
So that was the, okay.
that we did borrow the money for the truck, but only because it was really for the excavator.
Right.
Okay,
So this truck though is ready to go.
right.
it is in the budget.
We have the money to pay for it. The trade, you just need the title for that we have. So it should be.
Yes, I mean, in the past, the town manager says that town manager was signed, but I've always thought it should go to the board. At least go to the board, you know,
I don't disagree. Yeah.
so. But that's what happened last year, is we took that money to buy that, so
Mhm.
when we came to the truck, they decided to borrow the money.
Okay.
For last year that we'll get a bill for in December. Is that
Correct. There's two payments,
Right.
there's two payments.
Right.
Okay. So do we need any action on this? We're,
Technically, the only thing you knew would be to authorize the town manager to sign any paperwork for the registration and bill sale and the blessing and stuff for it. I think you might need a motion to sign the title, I don't care, whatever.
Where are we on the loan for the first truck? Do we know?
Yeah, we get two more payments of 45,000 each.
Two payments.
It was a 3-year
December
note.
of this year and December of next year. I thought I had that paperwork. Did I not put that paperwork in your packet?
no. I found I looked last night and found the minutes.
Yeah. It's like 43,000.
Total?
No,
So for
this
this
year
year
and next year.
and next year. So there should be money in the budget for this year's payment.
Hope, Russ, that would be a separate item, because that's a loan, so you wouldn't put it on the capital, you put it as a loan. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the minutes read equipment, budget amount left in the equipment fund as a 2-year note payment is $44,017.88, and the 3-year is 29.
So what you did is you took, let me put it this way, you took a loan, a payment in arrears So you would actually have the first payment coming up and then one more year of another payment.
So what's left?
I'm gonna say 2 payments of 43, round figure 44. I didn't bring it because it
I
was,
thought I had it in your packet.
right.
You want me to go
That would
downstairs?
be,
I'll look for it.
that money should have been put under a loan payment, not equipment payment.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was, but
Because we had the money as an article, that's why we couldn't change it, well, this year we didn't. And we as a board borrowed the money, told the vote, that's what we're doing, and went into the next year with, next 2 years with payment each year on that. It's really the excavator, but it's really under the truck now. Okay. I think before, Kevin, before the end of the year, we need to discuss that. Whether they pay it off or not. And did Russ put, we need to have somebody investigate, where did he put the money for the loan?
I look for it.
Yeah.
That's all. Just want to make sure that
I look for it.
we have a
It doesn't necessarily.
alpha and
mean it's
omega,
not
that's
there.
all I'm
Yeah,
asking, a beginning and an end.
Yep. I did look for it. But
Thank you.
there's nothing saying if we have the money, we can pay it off early. We can pay it off soon.
That's right.
And-
Yeah, you'll have
It'd be
to,
done.
could, except it wouldn't have been over in the equipment fund, because it was from the prior year, it would have been carried as a
Right.
debt into the next year, which you come to that year, you could pay the debt off. Yes.
I remember the discussion. I just don't want to have feckless comments on it going forward when they're not necessary.
Mhm.
I think we can all appreciate that, right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much on that, clarifying that.
I already signed the title. Do we need a motion for me to sign the
It's
title?
up to you guys.
Motion is made to authorize execution of the title on behalf of the town of Westminster to sell vehicle number, where is it? Vehicle number 5KKHAVD V8ELFY 8630. That's the VIN number. And you want the 2014 Westar?
Western.
Western, sorry, model 999.
And authorize the chair to sign the title.
Authorize the chair to sign the title.
Motion's been made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made to authorize the sale of 2014 Western Star with the chair to authorize the chair to sign. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Recluse myself.
With one
Abstention.
abstention.
Abstention. Yeah, that's the difference.
You're abstaining.
Okay.
We're accusing you, actually, you probably shouldn't be in the room, but you're abstaining.
With one abstention.
One abstention.
Okay.
Motion carried.
Now we need a motion for Ally to sign for registration of the new
Do we have a
truck,
copy?
correct?
Yeah.
I'll make a copy.
Thank you.
Frank, if I make a copy.
Motion to authorize the manager
I'll
to
leave it downstairs.
sign for the new truck.
I'm gonna leave during executive session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make it?
I make a motion for Allison Bigwood to sign for, how do we word that?
Sign, purchase and
Fine.
sales and registration.
For the new truck.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to authorize the interim town manager to sign for the new truck and the registration, purchase and sales. Any discussion?
We are absolutely certain the money is available for the full purchase of this truck without any indebtedness thereof.
I didn't, well, I looked at the one.
Minutes from December 8th last year. I can read them if you would like.
No, I'm just
Okay.
confirming that the money is in the budget.
Originally, when we were doing the budget.
There's 175 in there.
Okay,
Yeah, we originally
Thank
said
you.
200, and at the last minute, Russ and we all agreed to cut it back a little bit to 175.
just want to confirm for the record, for the taxpayer, that the money is available for this particular purchase and trade-in, and that we're not assuming any additional debt.
Justin?
I was curious, when are we gonna be seeing the truck? When do we receive it?
As early as tomorrow, but give me a little more time. You just gotta show them where we gotta show you where we're putting the mirror. The truck's done, except for that mirror.
The thunder mirrors?
You can only have, I'll discuss it afterwards with you. So
So,
I didn't want to put them on till you look at it, remember? But that only gonna take an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything else is done.
Okay.
motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Oh,
With one abstention.
Abstention.
Motion carries. Anything else on truck purchase and trade? All right. Seeing nothing, we'll move on to manager's report.
I am here to talk a little bit about the sheriff. I had sent an email out to you folks about a resident trying to get a tenant out of his rental property. He was afraid to go to the rental by himself, so I called the sheriffs for him, and no one was on duty that day. Was told to call the following day. Called the following day, and there wasn't a sheriff on then either. So I had to call the resident back because I didn't want to leave him hanging for a third day, and told him that he was going to have to call the state police for help. Because I wasn't, if he was afraid to go to the rental, I wasn't going. So then on yesterday, election day, Pauline had requested the sheriffs to be at the polling place at least 8, noon, 4, and 7 to be a presence, because it was contentious yesterday at the polls, and never saw a sheriff. If he drove by, he never checked in, and that's all she wanted was a check-in type thing. I will say that Ashley Pinger, who is our animal control officer, we pay $5,000 a year for her. She's had a busy month with dogs and that kind of thing, and she has
For us?
and she has reached out, and I have helped her with some residential things, and but she has been very good about keeping in contact with the dog stuff or animal stuff. So good, bad, whatever.
Probably safe to say they haven't responded about the trash
No,
either.
no. A couple of emails in, I had sent the same information to Deputy Fisher 3 times, and he finally got back to me last week and said, resend, I'm having trouble with my email. I just kind of, nope. Come on in and see me, and I'll hand you this information. So frustrations are high, you know.
I'd like to figure out how we can change the procedure that they patrol this town, as far as, I feel like their day should start with at minimum a phone call to town hall. Should be better yet, pull in and say, hey, what do you got? You have, you want us to deliver this? No problem. And 'cause we have no, Michelle, Kevin's wife had brought it up, we have no, what's the word? We have no, like,
Representation.
yeah, like they just show up and do what they do and send us a
There's
bill.
no accountability.
Yeah, accountability.
And we've asked them to be accountable, and we've
I mean,
asked them to
they're
show
not
up, and we've
approving
asked them
that.
to check in, and they don't.
Right, can we ask Ally to contact Putney's town manager? I mean, I was just curious, does anybody else, they share the same service? What
It's
are
on
they
Main Street
getting?
in
Are
Putney
they-
all the time.
They have more hours than we do.
We cut down to 20 and they took 40, and I think,
Right, but are they happy with their 40? Do you see what I'm saying? Are they getting the service? That's my question.
yeah.
You know, if they're great and they're happy, then we need to bring some back and find out why are we getting the service by Putney? But if they come back, Putney comes back and says, we get the same problem, we got them for 40 hours, they don't show
But
up.
if we have something that needs to be served to somebody, it could be anything, that should take priority over running the roads and just sending us a bill.
No,
I think they need guidance. They need
I
to
think
be,
everybody at this table, and especially Al, I gotta thank you, you know, especially the dog people. I mean, I go back a long ways. There was a horrible problem with dogs without this. So if she's going down and taking care of dog problems, and we don't have the backup of the sheriff. Man, you gotta thank her. That's a tough job.
that's her only job for us,
Yeah.
is animal control.
But we always had the sheriff to help her out, because the two neighbors getting in a fight over a dog or something, it's really something.
She
you
is
don't
a
want.
sheriff.
Yeah. Ashley's awesome, if we could just hire Ashley by herself,
That's
that'd be
what
cool,
I'm-
that'd be great,
Yeah.
but.
Well, we definitely gotta we need to figure out something.
Yep.
At some point.
You know,
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you just hate to be a negative, but it's
It's perpetual though, all the time.
Yes, it's very frustrating. Pauline was very upset that she had confirmed they would be on the schedule that day and for yesterday. And we didn't, you know, some people were kind of being a little foolish and whatever, but, you know, it would have been just nice, I think, if a presence was there, you know, and to guarantee it and then to have no show. It's kind of, yeah.
Or even just call back or email and say, hey, something came up.
Right.
We had to go somewhere else.
Right.
Bottom line is, we've had 48 months of displeasure. We're the client. We are not getting what we feel we need to be getting. And as a client, I think it's just, you know, this has got to stop. We're not getting it. It needs to come back and just say, hey, look, this isn't working out. Because it's not. I don't feel we're getting the dollar's worth. And it can't be about politics and relationships exclusively. It's got to be about the bottom line. What are we getting paid for what we're putting out? What are we getting in return in service and protection for the money we laying out?
Definitely.
Because I've been here or listened to 4 years consecutively, with all due respect, and I have the same consistent complaint that we are not happy with how this works.
I guess and I agree, because when we first got them, it was really well. Then we split with Putney, and that's the reason, if she calls Putney and they're not happy, then maybe we should get together with Putney and say, can we get together and share one person like who you're talking about or something? You know, can we look at different avenues to go down? And if we could share with another town like Putney, it might make it something where we can go and get somebody to actually work.
I mean, did it seem to work better when we did that before?
It did, but, you know, then they went through all this time where they didn't have any help as much as, and they went through all kinds of
Well, he
turnovers.
sat right here and told us he was fully
Yeah,
staffed.
the first time ever. And then they go through, but yes, when they first come, they would come in almost at least once or twice a week, see what was going on. We sent them out. It was great. It really was.
Hey, we have a lot of complaints on this road. Start there.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it seems like we just get a bill and it says patrol. What does that mean?
Yeah, and they would show up to the meetings at least once a month just to see what was going on. They would stand in the back and listen and see what was going on, especially if we asked them to. No, it was really a good relationship.
Better, much better.
Oh, yeah, it's nothing, we're not getting anything out of our money now. It's sad, because I hung in there longer probably than we should have, only because of the past, how well they did do it, but now but I'm for, like, if we could share with Putney, and if they're not happy, then maybe we can get together and try to do something between, you know, hire somebody somehow.
That's what I was wondering, if we've ever actually explored looking into other options. I saw a Walpole cruiser getting off the interstate the other morning as I was coming to work. I don't know where he was coming from, but he was getting off 91.
All the time. I don't know where they
So,
go. Yeah.
No, they always seem to have
you know,
plenty
can you hire
of presence.
Walpole
Yeah.
to come to Westminster?
They have plenty of presence over there all the time.
You know?
Even if they're just assisting the work crew on the line, the linemen or moving trees, they always have a police presence.
Right.
Whereas with us, I'm sorry,
Oh, no, I agree.
we got to target, we have other priorities in this town, from infrastructure and other things that need to be done, and I just feel at this point, we need to target our resources more appropriately. I think we've done all we can do listening to him. I don't have any problem with this gentleman, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't have the personnel and the resources and the equipment to deploy in accordance with our contract, then we need to pull out a different solution. That's all I'm saying.
Right. But we can't go without some kind of.
No, I get it.
Oh, yeah, right.
It is getting worse. You can talk to my brother with Allen Brothers, with what's getting off the highway, where now all of a sudden you get people breaking into our trucks, stealing batteries, doing stuff. I think it's just getting out that we don't have any presence of anybody else.
No presence at all.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to deal with that.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
I just think, okay, so the office will be closed on Friday in honor of Veterans Day. The road crew won't be working either.
Are they there though?
No, we talked about it today, Chuck, on the.
Well, Lucas might come and do some work on the furnace, so.
Yep. Oh, all right,
But we probably won't be out of.
well, he's gonna need a key then.
No, I'll be, not your furnace, my furnace.
So on that note, Amanda Mayo is a teacher at Westminster Center School, and I'll be delivering, which is really nice, I'll be delivering letters to veterans from her class to the Post 37, and then the other half of the letters are gonna go to the Veterans Home, either in Bennington or BA White River Junction, which is very, very nice, very nice. And so I thought that was kind of, that really excites me a little bit. And then the flags have been picked up. June and her daughter's friend went around and picked up all the American flags, and they were dispensed to the Legion for proper disposal on Veterans Day. And so they get some hours for that, for volunteering. And the other thing I have is Kelly has started working on the town report, and hopefully the next time we meet, we're gonna have some budget stuff going on.
I feel like we're behind budget talk
We
right
are.
now, aren't we?
We are.
Timing or?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Usually October.
Normally, what we should be sending out, normally in the past, we send out at least notice to the road foreman and each department that they need to start working on and coming back to us.
Yeah.
With some time frame.
You have talked.
Right.
You know, Chuck and Ben are working on it. Patty and the listers are actually working on some stuff. Listers are very excited about, they've got this new map. I asked the listers to be at least here to talk to you about, they're very excited. They're gonna be online with tax maps, which is really kind of working with Pauline with her land records. So if someone's researching a property, they can then get their tax map, and it's less traffic in the office, less touching of our documents. So it's that's pretty exciting. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Miles.
Anything else under manager's report, any discussion? Seeing nothing, we'll move on to D, road foreman's report.
So they finished the bridge out on East Putney Brook Road. Supposed to be a one-day project, took them a day and a half. They had some trouble getting the old steel out. It was rotted, worse than they thought. They had a hell of a time trying to cut it. We made the right decision. It's a good thing we did it when we did. It was worse than actually I thought it was. We have hired 2 new guys. One will start next Monday and one will start the following Monday. Jarrett McCarthy from Bells Falls, originally from Charlestown.
That's who you hired?
Yep, 19-year-old kid. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's teachable, I think. Seems to have the right attitude and be the right kind of person. The other one worked here in the past and has worked for the high school for years, Jim DeBell.
Really?
Yep.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yep, so he's in
As full-time?
full-time, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the 2 part-time guys to fill in the 7th guy position. Be a lot, less expensive for the town, and we'll also get as much done. And I feel like there's always enough semi-retired guys around, so we can always find somebody that can.
Give you some flexibility too.
That's right, exactly.
If you don't necessarily need them, you don't have to.
I can send
entertain
them home.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. And they're good with that, so.
Great.
Yep. All the grants are closed out, we're just awaiting funding. The guardrails on the west end of bridge number 5 have been replaced. We're waiting for reimbursement from the insurance company.
Check today.
Check came today.
Thank you for patching up that expansion joint there too.
Oh, yeah.
Good night, that thing was awful.
The beauty of that, do you know what that check was, how much it was for?
I just remember because Kelly had said Carabelle was in, I said,
So it's supposed to be,
10,000?
yeah, what happened was I gave the insurance company a price for used guardrails and new guardrail to fix it, and they added it together and cut us a check. So we also will have enough to put guardrail on Piggery Road, where I've got Jersey barriers now, that will fund that. So I wish more people would run into more guardrail to have good insurance. Yes, this.
But in the past though, say 2 or 3 years ago, wouldn't even have attempted to recoup that money. So that's great.
So that's about it. We're hauling sand in as we have time because we've got the lane in our budget and we got a wicked deal on road sand. We never really get as cheap as we are right now. Truck number 1 is down. It needs 2 new front axle U-joints.
That's a 1 ton.
That's a 1 ton, and one of them will be here December 15th, and the other one will be here the 23rd. Welcome to
Yeah.
Chasing Parrots. So, yeah, you think you got plenty of vehicles until you don't. So that's all I got for good news. Yeah. Thanks for
That's
selling.
great with people, getting a couple guys, that's.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be okay. I think probably Jim this will probably be his last job. Hopefully, he's got a few years before he can retire, and he knows the town, he knows the program.
Probably a lot less responsibility than where he came from as far as.
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't get into
I'm guessing.
what was going on there, like,
Yeah, that's great.
personality conflict, I don't know, whatever, but, yeah, I was just happy to find somebody that,
Knows the drill.
yeah, walking chewing gum was kind of a big deal.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else under road foreman's report? Any discussion? Seeing nothing, we'll move on to, we're gonna go into an executive session after, boards, committees, and commissions? Or did you wanna go into that?
Actually, we're part of the discussion today, we should just go ahead and do it. Unfortunately, I have to ask
Okay.
our current gallery to step out while we conclude this matter.
Yep, okay.
Could I just confirm while okay, can I confirm the next meeting is Tuesday,
That's the one we
November
moved.
29th?
That's the one we moved?
That's the one we moved from Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving. I just wanted everyone to be, so
Okay.
there's no problems.
Yep.
Tuesday, November 29th for the next meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Is this it?
This is it.
Mr. Chair, I am pleased, coming out of executive session, to provide the following proposal for a new contract for a potential new manager for the Township of Vermont, as discussed in executive session. Contract specifics, while not concluded completely, will be presented at the first possible opportunity to the candidate. And at this time, I would entertain a vote to approve the parameters of the initial contract on the record. Motion to submit first offer to the candidate.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded to make a first offer to a potential town manager candidate. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay, only because I just would feel more comfortable with somebody with town manager experience in that role. Financially, in terms of his ability to handle that, I think he's great, all day, every day. That's
Okay. All right.
all. Yeah.
Motion carries 4-1.
I wonder if we should. put-
Further motion,
And give him authorization
Yeah.
to sign.
subsequent to the contract, also motion to empower chairman of the select board authorization and authority to negotiate said contract based on the parameters we have discussed with the candidate, and either amend and or accept with also the blessing of legal counsel of the town of Vermont, city of Vermont, excuse me, city of Westminster.
You haven't said.
Sorry, guys, getting long, I apologize.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to authorize the chair to sign for contractual, for the
First time. you did it.
contractual matter of
Either
town
in
manager.
in Vermont.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm gonna abstain because I'm that person that would sign.
Well, if you abstain, then you can't sign because you just read. Go ahead.
Okay. Motion carries 4 and 1 abstention. All right, so we have not done other business. Is there any other boards, committees, and commissions? Seeing none?
Just on the record, representing, I was on the Board of Civil Authority for the last evening, November 8th. So very quickly, I want to take this opportunity to thank our entire team here for their incredible effort to make the election go smoothly. They spent a lot of time. It was my privilege to be able to assist in the count, and we should be very proud of all their work. And I also wanted to thank all the members of the fire department and first responders for allowing us to use the facility.
Agreed.
And I just wanted to put that on the record, Mr. Chair.
Great.
That's it.
I agree with you.
Yep, thanks. You should thank them.
Anything else, boards, committees, and commissions? Moving on, we'll go to other business. Any other business to be brought before the board at this time?
One last moment, again, so for the 29th, you'll see the reference to the conflict of interest policy. The policy will be presented. Hopefully, everyone will be here for the 29th,
Yes.
including Millie. Please take a careful look of the documents and the proposal. If there's any other proposals or concerns regarding the conflict of interest, because the teeth has really been placed into it, please do so before that time. The document will be presented for final approval of the board on November 29th.
Okay.
Everybody has the information.
And we are gonna start working on the budget at the next meeting.
Yes.
We have to.
Right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Anything else, other business? Date of the next meeting, Tuesday, November 29th, 6:30. Tuesday has been changed. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Guys have it. We are done.